Good, man. Good, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
That was a good game?
Yeah, that was okay, yeah.
Everything's good.
Joseph Parker versus Oleksandr Usyk. Absolutely. This was always the fight to make it heavyweight if we truly are living in a time of meritocracy. I'll be honest, I was fearful that the usual politics and BS would get in the way and push us in a different direction.
One day I would love the opportunity to fight here. I think it'll be amazing. Everyone that he's fought and everyone that he's beaten. And I wanna chase myself against them.
Roy Jones Jr. recently issued a surprising statement asserting that Joseph Parker is the most formidable opponent for Oleksandr Usyk. Currently,
Usyk is a guy who can do whatever he wants to right now. He vacated the IBF, he went and got it back. You understand me? So it's just fun for him right now. So he can do whatever he wants to, and he can fight whoever he wants.
although Jones hesitated to predict that Parker would defeat Usyk, he believes the New Zealand heavyweight possesses the abilities and background to pose the greatest challenge. Jones's remarks carry considerable authority given his own celebrated career, where he excelled across multiple weight divisions. The heavyweight class is alive with contenders, all eager to confront Usyk, who presently holds all 4 major titles. Yet, as Jones emphasized, with the division now completely unified, overcoming Usyk is the sole path to becoming champion. While many consider Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua as the primary threats to Usyk, Jones argues that Parker, with his distinctive blend of experience and physical prowess, might be the most challenging adversary for the undisputed champion.
Joseph Parker is the best fight for him right now because Joseph Parker is a guy who has the qualities and the experience that it would take to give Usyk the hardest time. Not saying he's gonna beat Usyk by no means, but he will give Usyk the hardest time of anybody. And if anybody, I think if they said, Roy, you got to take one guy right now, put your money on against Usyk, who would it be? It would be Joseph.
Jones's perspective is noteworthy, not only due to his own legacy, but also because of his profound knowledge of boxing. A 4-division world champion, Jones understands what it takes to triumph at the elite level. His assessment of Usyk's greatness is revealing, as he's among the few who can grasp the magnitude of Usyk's achievements from both a technical and historical standpoint. Discussing Usyk's place in boxing history, Jones recognized that the Ukrainian is a highly skilled fighter and has already established himself as a great. Usyk's dominance in 2 weight classes, cruiserweight and heavyweight, has positioned him among the elite, a feat few fighters can claim. However, while Jones praised Usyk, he was reluctant to rank him among the absolute greatest heavyweights of all time.
Well, you was a smaller guy that went up and won the world heavyweight title, one of the only ones to do that from middleweight up to heavyweight. You know, how does someone beat Oleksandr Usyk? Is it the smaller guy? Is it the guy that's coming up in the weight divisions, you know, as opposed to the bigger heavyweights?
No, the bigger guys could beat him, just gotta have the right fight plan. None of these guys fight him with the right fight plan. And I'm not gonna tell them the right fight plan because that's not my job to do. But you gotta have the right fight plan to fight Usyk. If you don't have the right fight plan, he's gonna destroy you. If you go out there trying to knock him out, he's gonna destroy you. And most of those guys that go out with the idea, oh, he's small, he came up from cruiserweight, we're gonna take him out. Wrong answer, you're not gonna take him out. He fought Gaisev, who was an even stronger puncher than most of these heavyweights are, and Gaisev couldn't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? Gaisev was one of the hardest punchers I've seen in quite some time, and Gaisev didn't give him no real opposition, basically, you know? So for these guys to think a one-punch guy's gonna beat Usyk, that's not gonna happen.
Jones raised valid concerns, noting that it's difficult to assess how Usyk would perform against the most powerful punchers in heavyweight history, such as Ernie Shavers or even the peak versions of icons like Muhammad Ali. For Jones, it's not just about Usyk's skill. It's about his capacity to endure punishment from the biggest, hardest hitters. That's an aspect of Usyk's career that remains somewhat untested.
And talking of Usyk, Roy, where do you rank him in that sort of all-time list? Everyone's been doing it all week, haven't they? It's the fun you have as a fight fan. Do you have an opinion on that?
No, I don't really have an opinion on that. He's definitely in the top 7 to top 5 now because he's done something that nobody ever done. Not to mention, the quality of heavyweights is not the same as it once was, but I mean, for him to do it the way he done it, undisputed cruiserweight champ, now undisputed heavyweight champ, that says a lot, man. Not many people done that. So for him to do that itself has to put him in the top 5.
Despite his reservations about Usyk being the greatest ever, Jones still places him in the top 10. Usyk's achievements, particularly in unifying the heavyweight division, have secured him a place among the all-time greats. Still, for Jones, the absence of Usyk facing hard punches from true power hitters leaves some uncertainty about his exact ranking. The discussion about Usyk's future, however, isn't solely about his historical greatness. There's growing concern among many that Usyk's age might impact his future performances. At 38 years old, Usyk has accumulated significant wear in his career, and some believe his body may struggle to meet the demands of facing top-tier opponents much longer.
Spoke to your man Joe Parker and he said, I will beat Oleksandr Usyk. What gives you the confidence that will happen as well, Andy?
Joe is the last challenge left. He can offer something that nobody else can. Craft, cleverness, doesn't take breaks, can fight the pace. It's a great challenge, and we just want to fight the best.
Robert Garcia has voiced his opinion that Usyk should contemplate retiring while still at his peak. Garcia believes Usyk's body has already endured considerable punishment, and continuing to compete, especially against younger, more aggressive contenders, could lead to an unfortunate outcome. Garcia's argument holds weight. The sport of boxing, particularly at the heavyweight level, is grueling, and Usyk's 38 years may be catching up to him. While Usyk remains a top fighter, the wear and tear of years in the ring could become evident, especially if he faces a younger, more dynamic opponent. Garcia's advice stems from respect, as he wants Usyk to exit the sport at the height of his abilities. He believes it would be unfortunate to see Usyk's legacy marred by a decline in performance, especially after achieving so much in the sport.
I would love to see him retire the way he is right now on top of the world, because if he goes in there, like I said, I think he has no problem with Parker, but it's still going to be tough. It's still going to be difficult. His body's already taking a lot. He's 38. We're going to end up seeing him. If he continues fighting, we're going to end up seeing him against a young lion, totally dominating him because of his age, because of his body already. Got a lot of tear and wear in his body. And we're going to see a sad ending where that's what we're going to remember. I would love to remember him as the greatest of all time, because he's showing to be one of the greatest of all times. I would love him to retire now and just call it quits and be remembered as one of the greatest of all times. I know there's so much money out there. There's so much, big fights, and it's tempting, to anybody. So I can't blame him either. I can't blame him for not wanting to continue fighting, because he's still on top of his game. He could still dominate many of those fighters, but sooner than later, his body is not going to respond. His body's gonna be tired, and we're gonna see maybe a sad ending, and I would hate to see that with.
Despite these concerns, Usyk has made it clear that he's not considering retirement just yet. Following his victory over Daniel Dubois, which reinforced his status as the undisputed heavyweight champion, Usyk has been discussing the next steps in his career. The WBO recently mandated that Usyk defend his title against Joseph Parker, who has secured a mandatory shot at the belts. Parker's manager, David Higgins, has expressed optimism that the fight will finally occur by year's end. For Higgins, this is the culmination of a long journey, as Parker has steadily risen through the ranks since his loss to Anthony Joshua in 2018. He stated, "Joseph is hoping and praying that Usyk will choose to defend the honor of undisputed champion, a feat few have accomplished in recent times." The WBO's directive to resume talks between Usyk and Parker has reignited discussions about a potential clash. While Usyk has shown interest in facing Parker, he's also mentioned other fighters like Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Derek Chisora as potential opponents. It's evident that Usyk has numerous options, but the likelihood of facing Parker is growing, especially with the WBO's involvement. For Parker, this is a fight he's long awaited. He's been vocal about his desire to challenge Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight titles, and with his recent performances, he's earned that opportunity. Parker has steadily rebuilt his career after tough losses, and his current form makes him one of the most formidable contenders in the division. For many, it's a long overdue shot at a world title. Chris Algieri is another figure who believes Joseph Parker deserves the opportunity to fight Usyk. Algieri views Parker as a seasoned fighter with all the qualities needed to give Usyk a tough battle. He noted that Parker is large for the weight class, athletic, and experienced. More importantly, Algieri believes Parker's combination of size and skill could pose problems for Usyk, something that might be difficult for the Ukrainian to counter.
He's got a lot of experience. He's a former world champion. He's big for the weight class. He's athletic, and he's coming off a 3-fight win streak that rivals any one of the top contenders right now. He KOs Martin Bakole in his last fight. He beat Zhilei Zhang before that, and Deontay Wilder before that. If anyone deserves a shot, it's Joseph Parker. And it's just unfortunate for him. He always seems like the guy who's on the outside looking in, doesn't ever get that shot. So I do think he deserves it. I also think it's a dangerous fight. Does he have enough to beat Usyk? I don't think anybody.
While some fans and analysts might favor younger, more aggressive contenders like Moses Atelma, Algieri thinks Parker's experience and proven ability make him the ideal opponent for Usyk. despite Parker sometimes feeling overlooked. Algieri firmly believes he deserves a shot at the undisputed champion. Meanwhile, former cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew, who has ties to Tyson Fury's camp, has also expressed support for Parker's title opportunity. Bellew voiced frustration with the challenges Parker has faced in securing a world title shot, but he remains optimistic that Parker will get his chance against Usyk. Although Bellew acknowledges that Fury and Joshua are potential threats to Usyk, he still believes Parker has earned the right to face the undisputed champion.
People won't like this, but the person who gives him the best fight is Tyson Fury, probably. People don't like me saying that, and I know everyone is furious about it, but he's the one who's given the most trouble.
Yeah.
Him or AJ have given, the rematch with AJ was level going into round 10.
Yeah.
So, and you know, AJ put a fantastic performance in the rematch. I think it's absolute lunacy to throw Moses the Tumor in with Oleksandr Usyk now. You know, I think that is absolute madness of the highest order. Has Moses the Tumor even been past 6 or 7 rounds yet?
No. I think
Why
it was
would you
6th
throw him
rounder once.
Why would you throw him in? It's boxing is a sport where it's so unforgiving, and you have to earn your stripes. I'm a huge Moses Tumor fan. I do believe he's the future of the heavyweight division, but he should in no way, shape or form be climbing in a ring with Oleksandr Usyk when he hasn't been past 6 rounds. I'm sorry. You know, it's absolute crazy. A good fight for him. No one's more deserving than Joseph Parker, and I've screamed this from the rooftops. No one deserves the shot more. Joseph Parker, I mean, I can make a case for Joseph Parker deserving the shot more than Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
Because Joseph Parker's the man who went in with the absolute bogeyman at the division. Joseph Parker went in with Deontay Wilder, who, let's be totally honest, no one really wants to face him. And then he went in with someone even worse than Zhilei Zhang, and no one wants to face him, and he dealt with the two of them back to back. And then let's get something straight, on 48 or 72 hours notice, whatever it was, he went in with the greatest sparring partner the world's ever known.
The reality, however, is that Tyson Fury could once again overshadow Parker's title shot. Usyk has mentioned Fury as a possible opponent, and given the long-standing rivalry and interest in a Fury-Usyk matchup, it's entirely possible that Parker's path to a world title could be blocked by the bigger name. But for now, Parker continues to push forward, hoping that Usyk will honor the WBO's mandate and grant him his long-awaited title shot. The heavyweight division is filled with drama, uncertainty, and potential matchups that fans eagerly anticipate. Usyk, while at the pinnacle, has no shortage of contenders knocking at his door. And though Fury, Joshua, and others might seem like the obvious threats, Parker is a fighter with the right mix of experience and physicality to cause serious problems.